Sweet, sweet. Thank you. So good morning. I'm Reverend Heidi Allfree, and welcome to Celebration Sunday, one of our wonderful services to remind you of the magnificence of who you are. We are in our wonderful series called Heart-Centered Metaphysics, and we are using the affirmation, "It is a beautiful day in my consciousness." So can we say this together? It's a beautiful day in my consciousness. And I'd also like to tell you, it is Bake Sale Sunday. Woo! And as much as you all are luscious and sweet, you should see this stuff out there. It is beautiful, luscious and sweet, and I'll be telling you more about it and to support our youth. But for right now, I want to remind you that your soul is welcome here. So we are going to stand and sing My Soul is Welcome Here, and Sean Thies is going to lead us. So, yay you.
Just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Let me hear you from behind your mask. Woo! I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Ooh. The soul is welcome here. Ow!
Oh, good morning. Your soul is welcome here. And welcome to all of you here in the sanctuary. Welcome to all of you who are tuning in online. We are so happy that you said yes to this invitation to spend time with us this morning. My name is Russ Chafin, and I'm a little breathless from that soul music. Woo. And I'm going to be your host this morning, your platform host. So let's take some deep breaths and kind of bring the energy down just a tad and allow me to light the light. And we light the light to remind us that we are the light of the world. I am the light of the world. Let's say that together. I am the light of the world. Yes, we are. And then we sound a tone to get a set of vibration of oneness for the time that we spend together this morning. Okay. So the daily word this morning is faith. And the affirmation is, my faith keeps me focused on God. I may not be able to control what happens around me, but I am always free to choose what happens within me. My perception determines my experience. I begin with faith. I choose to see the vibrant wholeness that is present even during illness. I open my heart and mind to the harmony that I know is possible, even in the midst of apparent discord. When my need and my needs appear greater than my resources, I remind myself that all supply springs from the inexhaustible well of divine substance. I am reassured by remembering all situations are temporary and God is greater than every circumstance. Through my faith, I align my thoughts with the divine and believe in this truth that sets me free. And from Luke 17:6, if you had faith the size of a mustard seed, you could say to this mulberry tree, be uprooted and planted in the sea, and it would obey you. There's a metaphysical phrase for you. My faith keeps me focused on God. So as I was thinking about this is a big deal for a lot of us. A lot of us have maybe some challenges with this idea of faith. I think that faith is like love in the sense that we always want to be loving, right? We always want to have that love going. And it's really easy to love people who are lovable and love situations that are fun and exciting, and we go, oh, I really love that. It's not so easy when people are challenging. We all know some of those people. But sometimes we are those people. Yeah. So faith is like that. Faith calls upon us. In Scripture it says faith is the evidence of things unseen. To be able to see or live into something that's not seen. And that calls upon a real spiritual depth to each one of us to be able to know what that is. I think that for me it means that I have to practice every day to activate my faith, to do my work, to do my gratitude list, to meditate and to focus on God. And then in those moments that I'm not feeling very loving, I can choose, as the daily word says, I can choose then to focus on God, to realign with God, to activate my faith in that moment, knowing that when I do that, all is well. And that is the truth that sets me free. And so it is.
It's not that unusual when everything is beautiful. It's just another ordinary miracle today. The sky knows when it's time to snow. Don't need to teach a seed to grow. It's just another ordinary miracle today. Life is like a gift, they say, wrapped up for you every day. Open up and find a way to give some of your own. Isn't it remarkable? Like every time a raindrop falls, just another ordinary miracle today. Birds in winter have their fling and always make it home by spring, just like every other ordinary miracle today. When you wake up every day, please don't throw your dreams away. Hold them close to your heart, 'cause we are all a part of the ordinary miracle. Extraordinary miracle. Do you want to see a miracle? It seems so exceptional that things just work out after all. It's just another ordinary miracle today. Sun comes out and shines so bright and disappears again at night. It's just another ordinary miracle today. It's just another ordinary miracle today. It's just another ordinary miracle today.
Wow, that was yumminess. Wow, thank you, Sean. Thank you, Woody and Randy and Renee. Come on, yeah? Now, life is fascinating, isn't it? There's a lot of, okay, well, Renee, we heard from you. You know, we're glad to hear from you again. Rim shot. Yeah, you know, life, there's a lot of ordinary to life, but there's also the miraculous that we can so easily forget or not see. So I am an ordinary miracle. Can we say that? I am an ordinary miracle. And the idea of being ordinary only in the sense of we're all in this together, right? And miracle in that the miracle, truly, as Marianne Williamson will tell us, is a change in perception. And so that's a big deal to change your perception. Have you noticed that everything changes if you can change your perception, if you're willing to change your perception? I want to welcome a friend of mine that's here who has changed my perception just in knowing him. And we want to welcome John Pritchard, who is here from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. John, can you stand and let us give you a hand? Yes, yes. John has really created a different world by his presence. He is on the board of Center for Spiritual Living in Fort Lauderdale, and he has brought, I guess you've also lost, 40 pounds? 50? 80. All right, I mean, it's just, he is just a sliver of himself, but But it's just, you've really had an extraordinary life since he came into Center for Spiritual Living. And I'll talk a little bit about a lot of things John went through and changed himself and the world by being committed to your spiritual path. So I love you very much. I'm so glad you're here. We're also celebrating that Carol George is here today. She made, yes. And Carol, welcome. I know you are one of our pillars of prayer, and I really so appreciate your presence here. Yeah, we're all this, maybe we're more like extraordinary miracles. I'm an extraordinary miracle. That feels even better, right? Why don't we look at one another around somebody next to you and say, I'm an extraordinary miracle. Yeah, and then you look at them again and say, you're an extraordinary miracle. No. Yeah. You got it. So thank you. Thank you for being willing to tell the truth. And you can see how it feels true. It really feels true when someone looks at you, because that's the mirror of who you are. So we have been going back in time with Unity teachings, and we are going down to the core of what Unity teaches, because for some reason, these New Thought communities have been meeting for over 100 years, and it's not just because we're all kind of cute and we smell good, and we love to get the one shower of the week you're going to take on Sunday. I'm sure you take more. But it is because these teachings do have extraordinary effects on how you live your life, extraordinary effects on how you see yourself. And it was a teaching that has really been such a shift from early religious teaching. And it feels, I know when I first started looking at this, it felt a little blasphemous. I was used to sort of feeling like I was needing to be humbled or sort of afraid of whatever was called God. And to actually understand that energy is within me as a principle, as a law, it's a constant experience. It's a constant evolution. My other affirmation for us today is I am an ever-evolving soul. Can we say that? I'm an ever-evolving soul. And in your ever-evolving soulness, Russ, do you mind bringing me a bottle of water? That'd be great. Thank you, sir. I so appreciate it. That's it. All right. So again, we are looking at heart-centered metaphysics. And to the degree that we're willing to look at the places in our lives where we feel stuck, it is not that we won't have uncomfortable moments, as Russ said very well. That is where the growth happens, right? If we really could say, oh, another uncomfortable moment, this is great. It's another spiritual growth opportunity, right? But when you have a wreck in your car or you don't feel so well, it's often not the thing you say. But we're practicing to know that's true. All right, so let me see if you can relate to this. Chapter 1, I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I'm lost. I'm helpless. It isn't my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. Chapter 2, I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in anyway. I can't believe I'm in the same place. But it isn't my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. Chapter 3, I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it there. I still fall in, it's a habit, but my eyes are open. I know where I am. It is my fault. I get out immediately. Chapter 4, I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Chapter 5, I walk down another street. And we breathe in, yes. So those are the days of your lives. We have the hourglass, yes. It really is the way life is. And those holes that we fall into really are habits. But they're habits that you would say if someone met you, I am this. You know, we have identified with these habits so much that it is part of our identity now. And that's why it's so difficult and strange to see there's a way out of these deep, confusing, stuck places. But as we start to see, I'd like to shift the word, it's my fault. It's also, as I said last week, it's my responsibility. It's the reason I was born, to prove the Spirit, the principle of God in me. I'm here to prove it. And I get to prove it all the time because there's things that happen that I don't understand completely. But as I start to understand them, as I start to affirm what it is that I want, which is very handy, it starts to emerge. Life starts to emerge that way. So this is a wonderful metaphor for life. And it is the opportunity. I love chapter 3. You know, I fall in, it's a habit, but my eyes are open. My eyes are open because we start to see life differently. And the title of this talk is A New Pair of Glasses. And the idea of a new pair of glasses, again, is a metaphor. When we cannot see something well and we put on glasses, or if that's, the metaphor, and you see life better, then you can understand it and you can live it. You know, we saw Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, it's all black and white, right? And then she gets to the land of Oz and it's all what? In color. Yeah, it's different. She was lifted out of old consciousness. She swirled around a bit. I think it was probably kind of scary. A witch was flying by, all kinds of stuff was happening. But when she landed, she was in a whole new world, a whole new perspective. She was out of that hole of her own consciousness, and she was definitely walking down a different street. Yep, the yellow brick road, in fact. I can go on and on, but we'll do that series another time. But it is really interesting to see how everything that is about awakening is the same. That's why, we can read this and say, well, this is metaphysics. So welcome to this consciousness. I am always blown away by people that show up at Unity churches, at New Thought centers, because it is, you're stepping into another level of you. I have this crazy practice, it's hot yoga. And I started it 20 years ago, and I am so not an expert at all, I know the poses, but when I go, I am always sort of, my body feels great afterward. I feel like I've really loved up this temple that carries my soul, but I'm never like, oh, that was easy. Ever. And the teacher went around last time after we were all laying there like, puddles of, I don't know what, let's say bliss. And she said, not many people do this. Not many people do this. And I thought, yeah, it's just like awakening. It's just like this conscious community. Not many people do this. That's why there are still wars. That's why there are still, major challenges in communication, because not many people do this. And when you step into this and say yes to this, and congratulations, there is something that really gets awakened in you. And you can't go back to sleep. That's the other kind of challenge. It's like when I quit drinking, going to the bar was not nearly as interesting anymore, right? Because it didn't really work anymore because I was too enlightened, right? So that's what we're doing here. And thank you so much for showing up for you. I am an ever-evolving soul. Let's say it together. I am an ever-evolving soul. All right. So the gentleman that wrote the book, A New Pair of Glasses, his name was Chuck C. He was a recovering alcoholic from Beverly Hills. You would think living in Beverly Hills would solve everything, right? Not so much. And one of the things he wrote in this book, it was an essay of his talks. He became a very famous, it's supposed to be funny to be a famous alcoholic, but he went to speak all over the world. And he said there's only one problem with life, and there's one solution that is the solution to that problem. And the one problem is a feeling of conscious separation from your creator, from life, from love. That's the one problem, and the one solution is a conscious unity with our creator or creation. It's simple. Do our lives feel a little complicated sometimes? Yeah, because it's everyone's living that experience, but how is it can relate to our specific individual challenges or the ways that we do have awakenings. So I love to see that metaphysics is in everything, and it is an amazing tool for waking up. So here's the book we've been following, and it is my new, favorite reference book, because every time I'm preparing to do these talks, every single sentence in a way could be a quote we could use. And I know you all want to stay here like 10 hours with all my quotes. So I'm just really recommending this so strongly. You'll also, as we go through this today, we have our class on Wednesday night. You can drop in. It's on Zoom, and we're talking about how to work with what is called in this area the creative process. Oh, bless you. Wow, it's great to sneeze in a community of spirituality, isn't it? Bless you, everybody says bless you. Yes. All right. So a couple of things that Unity really sees differently metaphysically that gave me a lot of peace when I came in these spaces. The first was, when I came in here, I felt this freedom. People love you just as you are. They really do. And it's kind of weird at first, right? Because, it's like my soul is welcome here. I'm like, not many people said that to me earlier in my life, And so the idea that I'm welcome here, I am welcome just the way I am. But then the next thing I heard is that the foundational text is the Bible. I said, the Bible? I mean, I'm leaving the Bible. The gospel of the day. I was like, certainly not the inspiration of the day, how I was raised in my earlier religion. And the Bible I think, has such different effects on different people, but it was not something I wanted to, it's your textbook? How can it be so open and free? But as we look at how Unity interprets the Bible, this is how Unity interprets the Bible. He says it's a record of historical events and an account of the evolving spiritual awakening in both collective and individual consciousness. All right? So I am an ever-evolving soul. Say it again. I am an ever-evolving soul. Yes? So you see that the Bible is a symbolic, in Unity terms, it's symbolism. It's beyond the physical. It's not a literal story. It is, how is it that these characters represent, or these experiences represent love or strife or comparison. I know fish represent ideas, so the fishermen were out collecting ideas. That's why they became disciples. So it then became a very interesting story, right? And I still love the metaphysical interpretation of the Bible. The Metaphysical Bible Dictionary is an extraordinary book, and it really will help you, and we're going to look at a bit of Bible today, see it as an exciting life experience rather than some old story that you're supposed to beat yourself over the head with, or other people, or we are and you're not, and all of that kind of thing. So, and the other thing that I found extraordinarily different was the Trinity. Because when I became licensed as a licensed Unity teacher at Unity Village, there was a ceremony, and my parents came, and my dad looked at me very sternly and said, "Do you believe in the Trinity?" And I always want to say, when people have that look on their face, I hope not. Right? That's supposed to be funny. But the idea that people, when they look at you like, "Do you believe in?" It's like, well, whatever you're talking about doesn't look too happy for you. So I said, well, Dad, our experience of the Trinity is this. It is mind, idea, and expression or manifestation. Because what the Unity speak is, it needs to work for everybody. Right? Jesus didn't say, "You over there, forget it. Good luck. And but you guys, we like you guys." It's like, how do we bring these terms that somehow can feel, Father or Holy Spirit? If there's a way to see that as indwelling, then it can be powerful. So Unity's Trinity is very different also, that it's a mind, that we have the divine mind, the open mind. You think of all the ideas that come to you, all the ways that you are expressing in life, then it turns into an idea. And then if it is the right thing for your soul and your experience, it'll manifest. I've had things that didn't manifest, and I realized later they weren't going to be the highest for me. So our Trinity experience is very different. So another new pair of glasses. walking down a different street. All right, so let me tell you what he all does. They also call this is the fourth dimension. They talk about this as being taking the elements of the third dimension and moving them into the fourth dimension. So let me tell you about a story that is using these elements, and it was that I decided to quit smoking. I decided to quit smoking. It was that street I'd been walking down a long time and fallen in that hole. And as I said at the beginning, I really identified as a smoker. I didn't see it was my fault. Cigarettes somehow just ended up in my mouth or on my hand. And it was just, I didn't want to have any responsibility for that. And it was something that I knew at some level it wasn't healthy, but I didn't have the insight to have any changes. And so the first thing that happens in this creative process is my mind. I had quit drinking alcohol about 6 months before I started looking at cigarettes, so I was a little more clear. But what happened is I knew that I wanted something to shift because I started loving myself more, right? This is the key, that as people love you just as you are, you start to care more about yourself. You start to feel that sense of, maybe this would be a kinder way to live. So I went to, I'm a big group processor, and so I went to a group that was 20 Days to Quitting Smoking with the American Cancer Society. And nice people, we all went around, there was a group of us, and we all went around and said, why do we smoke? What do we like about smoking? Why do we smoke? And it's sexy, and it's, you see movies, it always looks sexy. Right? You see, what is that mindset? But you always think, boy, I'm glad that person's in the movie and not sitting next to me. But anyway, so we all talked about why we smoked, and we all, I felt like I like these people, fine. But then I had to look at the hole I was in. I had to look at the denial. And what they said is they gave us a piece of paper that said, write down every cigarette you smoked during the day and how much you want it, 1 to 5. 5 meaning I really want it, and one being I don't really want it so much. All right? Now, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to look at my habit. I didn't want my eyes to be open. And that was not fun at all. But it is interesting how we resist the awakening. We resist the awakening. This is why when we're trying to make these changes, everything in me was like, this is boring. I just wanted to quit smoking. Like, I wanted this to go away. Why do I still have this? And it was because I had been habitualizing this behavior for so long, the separation from it was very uncomfortable. But I wrote that down. That was the first week. Then you looked at the cigarettes you wanted less, and you started taking them out. And so this became a very intellectual, a very conscious experience that it hadn't been before. And I started to really notice how my behavior, rather than just sitting around acting, like it's something I do because I'm bored. And the last day, the 20th day, he kept taking this out, and the 20th day, my dog ran away. And I was so distraught and so, looking for her all day, and I didn't smoke a cigarette that day because my mind was somewhere else. My mind was on, a big love, but what happened is that hatred thing had lessened. It had lessened through taking that substance of caffeine out of my body. Caffeine, I got to work on coffee next, It's like, okay, universe, whatever that's about. But nicotine I'm talking about, it had created a space that this was something I no longer needed to have. My eyes were open. It was my fault. It was my choice. Now I know today. And since I didn't have a cigarette one day, I was able to say, I can do this. It's like this is why it's so important on the spiritual path that you look back and see these ideas, these things that have come through you that were started as an idea. I know Allison and many of you had a lot to do with the courtyard. This was an idea. Are we right about that? Did it look like that when you first started? No, okay, so, right, but a lot of you invested in this and put time into this, and it's here. But I don't know how many people on a daily basis think this started as an idea. and this community got behind it. And I tell you, it's a marvelous place for us to enjoy, but it started in the mind as an idea and then as an expression. I want to just bring up John briefly. John, he had his partner, Kurt. We were all pals. And Kurt made his transition 3 or 4 years ago. Is that right? 3, all right. And I was talking to them about their trip to Fiji. Is that right? The last time I saw Kurt, right? And it was so, it's so interesting how every moment is the important moment, yeah? Because I love that thought of Kurt and you talking about they were going to go on a trip. And Kurt had brain challenges, yes, and so he passed. And John, that was the first time you came into CSL, I believe, or where we had some significant conversations, yes, and we were talking about how do we move through these times, right, that are so challenging when your partner, you lose your partner, you don't lose your partner, but there's a huge shift in your life. And how do we possibly get through this? And so we prayed with John a lot. We talked with John a lot. We cried with John a lot. And as the time went by, divine mind, idea, and manifestation, John got an idea. Kurt was a very snazzy dresser, had a lot of clothes. Yeah, so John came to us with the idea of, I would like to start something called Kurt's Closet. And I would like to donate these clothes to people that are starting careers, that need clothes, that need professional clothes, that need nice clothes. And he started it at CSL, and it is still ongoing, yes, and it has been an extraordinary, for us to see this man go through what he went through, and then a bit later, there's this wonderful nonprofit that's being created out of that energy. It's extraordinary what we can do with that kind of teaching, with the metaphysical, that it's gone beyond the physical. It is something now that is a service to others. And I know Kurt, that energy of Kurt is very happy by that experience. So I'd like to give John a hand for doing that, yeah? Let's give Kurt a hand. So I just want us to know how many stories are created when we learn these metaphysical teachings. And another quote from the garden, the fourth dimension that we're talking about, when we talk about the Garden of Eden, when you've heard about the Garden of Eden where there was no shame, people were naked, let's say they were real and they didn't have any shame. Have you seen kids? Do they mind being naked? No. A lady that was in Kansas City when I had my radio show called Let's Get Naked, Revealing Your Authentic Self. The Midwest was not ready for me. No, but one of the parents came up to me and said, she goes, Heidi, I support you. My neighbor said to me about my son, does your son own pants? Because we never see him in pants, right? She was kidding, but her son was 2 running around the neighborhood without his pants on. So she said, that's just, the idea is the being authentic, so the Garden of Eden is this 4th dimension. Did it feel good to you to create Kurt's Closet? Yeah, right? And it feels good to me to not smoke cigarettes. And it feels good when you realize the value you are on the planet. The 4th dimension, you move from infinite to finite. You create things. You move from uninformed or unformed to formed. Charles and Cora said that all things were first in the invisible until they came forth into manifestation, just what you were saying, Russ. So we have to laugh that when we have a new idea, that often we're not excited about the result, we get worried, right? Russ and I were talking about an event, and we were talking about, and Russ, just because I say it too, he goes, Heidi, that's going to be a lot of work. I went, I know, but it sounds exciting, doesn't it? It's just right, but this is what we do. How quickly we go, oh, well, I'm too old, or oh my God, I tried that, or oh, I'm not any good at that. And rather than focus on this manifestation. So we're here at Unity of Santa Barbara, and you all have done some extraordinary things, but I invite you in your daily meditation, certainly when we're here, to envision what it is is possible here. This beautiful space, with events, and we have rentals and all of the ways that we can support this place. Volunteerism, certainly financial support, and your consciousness is the main thing that makes this place happen. So again, mind, idea, manifestation. It is said that everybody is bound by his or her attention upon apparently fixed dimensions or magnitude of this world. When the attention is free from the apparently fixed dimension of time, space, and form, there is an infinite realm of freedom and opportunity available. Right? So our opportunity is really to stay in that sense of the end. So I have a quick video because I love many mediums, and this is a little child that could not see very well, and then he was given a new pair of glasses. And I'd like you to watch what happens to his expression.
Finally tonight, a magical moment for one baby boy whose life suddenly changed when a pair of eyeglasses was placed on his little face. Before that, everything was fuzzy, but now those bright eyes are taking in a whole new world. ABC's John Donvan with the story tonight.
Okay, we're just going to show it to you, so watch this. Watch the expression on this baby's face. His name is Leo, he's 4 months, and this smile... And here's why it means so much to his mom and dad. Before that moment, Leo, who has a rare disorder affecting his vision, had never had a good, clear look at the world.
Most of what he's been able to see up until getting the glasses was extremely fuzzy or completely out of focus.
Yup, everything, even up-close things like his dad's beard.
He'd look at him or get close to his face and instantly put his hands towards his cheeks, maybe to identify if it's dad or if it's mom.
So the glasses were there to fix that. In the video, it shows the moment he first puts them on and first looks straight into his mother's face. And there's that hesitation, and then there it is. Obviously, Leo likes what he sees.
That smile was something that was so different. Yeah, it was just remarkable.
Wow. Yes, it was remarkable. So here's one last look at this first look. John Donvan, ABC News, Washington.
Yay, Leo, right? Mm-hmm. So we all, most of us, were raised with this disorder of not seeing the world correctly. Can we agree? And so you will see there's a wonderful woman that's here that went to the breath workshop, and also she's been coming here just about a month. And she said, I used to frown all the time, and I smile now. She said it's just amazing to even see how my face looks different, and I just feel like a completely different person. And that's because we teach the self-love, the self-energy, the Christ consciousness that is always with you and has always been with you. It's just often not the thing that you have understood how to use. I'm going to close. The film works brilliantly, and I'm just going to throw this out there, and then you all can come on Wednesday so we can learn it better. But Genesis 1 is the perfect creation process story. And you will know that there's 7 days, right? And every day was let there be. Let there be. Not, I wonder if it's going to be. Oh, well, there's not enough money, and there's not enough time, and there's not enough energy. This is going to take a lot of energy. It was let there be. It's a great thing to say. Let there be. Let's just say it. Let there be. Yeah, right? Okay. So this was what is the command. Let there be. And so there's, first of all, let there be light. And so this idea of illumination, of the new idea, and it'll occur to you all the time, a different way perhaps to say something to somebody, a different way to handle health, whatever it is, illumination. And the second day is let there be firmament, right? The grounding of the faith. I know we're going to make $1,000 at this bake sale. I just know it. I'm putting in 100. So, how are you going to do that? And I can tell you those cookies are worth $25 a piece for sure. Anyway, but a foundation of that, I love knowing in advance. Dry land, let there be dry land. That's our imagination. That's the ability to just create. It's often through not the doing, but the holding the colors and the smells and what is this going to feel like. The fourth day, let there be the sun and the moon, two great lights. The strong light is the sun, and then you'll notice the moon is the reflection of the Son, because that represents understanding and will. We understand, and then the will is the servant of the understanding. That's why when we act, we want to act out of understanding. The fifth day is fish and fowl, which represents judgment, discernment. On the fifth day, on the sixth day, let there bring forth after their kind. So we have animals and humans creating the image and likeness of God. And then finally, the seventh day, we rest. And it's not resting like, we can flop on a couch and go, oh, glad my series is on. It is the rest and the resting of I know everything is unfolding as I put that imagination and energy into it. The Father and I are one. Let's see, what is it? The Father in me does the work. God in me does the work through me. All right. So if this creative process sounds interesting to you, if you're ready to walk down a different street, please say, I'm in. All right. And can you look at your neighbor and say, I'm in? All right. Okay. Yes, because I will tell you, yes. And so I'd like for you to prove God in this way. I want you to look at an idea. This is a 7-step process of the creation story. Isn't it wonderful to not have as an old story of some man with a wand or whatever that person was doing? It's the story of your life. And so then we get to live this life in a sense of, I may feel like there's a brokenness, there's a challenge, but there's something in me that's bigger than the challenge. I want to close with a quote from Neil Valley's book that was about Myrtle Fillmore. When we unfold our fourth dimensional consciousness, we shall see into omnipresence, and there will be nothing hidden from us. We are walking down a new street, and you all said you're in, and you are ever-evolving souls. And so it is. Yes. So as we move into meditation, I'd also like to, part of the creation process is the consciousness of prayer. And we have one of our AV team members, Sven Holcomb, has been gone for almost a month now. His brother is on his soul journey. His body is healing. As it is, he's in a healing process, and Sven is there loving greatly. And so we want to send a lot of healing, love. Sven, hold him in your mind. His brother Edgar looks just like him, and let us hold that family and that all the medical people in our prayers of wellness and peace and calm. And I'd like you to hold yourself and anyone in that vibration. And I'm going to play our bowl for just a moment. We are co-creators with all that is, so let us send that peace and love out from that fullness of who we are. So this is our new street. We walk down a street of compassion, of love for ourselves and others. We see ourselves on this new street, smiling from our heart and receiving smiles from others on the street and from flowers and trees and animals. The feeling of acknowledging that we are all awakening. We keep stepping, we keep moving. And it doesn't mean even physically moving. We are just moving in our experience of embracing this incredible gift that is our life. We feel so grateful for the Fillmores and all that have been part of this New Thought movement, that we're willing to interpret things differently and live a much more awakened sense of spirituality. So, Spirit, we know we have made a choice to be here today. Everyone is here by divine invitation. And we are on the right road at the right time, the new street, the new habit, and we are free. We are free, right here and right now. So be with your breath, and the silence brings you right into the moment, and somehow or another, we don't worry about breathing. So just allow yourself to be breathed as we walk down the new street. I am an ever-evolving soul. I say yes to that truth. There isn't a finish line. There isn't a test. There is a showing up. There's a presence. There's a delight. There is an ordinary and extraordinary, miraculous experience happening. And I am willing and ready, expectant, receiving, and I create a different world by knowing the truth of who I am. Spirit, God, love, life in action. And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Heidi, for that wonderful lesson I'm in, and for that beautiful meditation and the bowl. Thank you. So this is the time in our service where we get to celebrating our abundance, in our health, our abundance in our relationships, abundance in our creativity, and then specifically right now in our service, our abundance in our finances. And when we begin to focus on lack and limitation in any of these areas, what happens? We choke off the flow. We interrupt the flow. We sabotage, actually, our sense of abundance. So we want to celebrate abundance. We want to celebrate what we have. And so this is our opportunity right now to do that celebration. We have a number of ways to give. There's going to be some slides there for you to look at, but you can go to our website, you can go to our live stream page and click on the donate buttons on Facebook. I'm not sure about YouTube. Are we still on YouTube? We can do it there too. Or you can go to the Givelify app. And if you're here in person, you can write a check or use cash, or we can help you use your credit card, or you can just write it on an envelope. And we have Kathleen over there with her iPhone and her little swipey thing on there that, we can do all kinds of things. And if you'd like to know about how to give in all the different ways, come out to the table and I can talk to you about that. I do want you to know, in the spirit of transparency, that Unity of Santa Barbara is committed to tithing 10% every month to various organizations and people. The Board of Trustees and our minister and all of us have committed ourselves to doing that, 10% of our revenue. So in April, here's who we tithe to. Unity Worldwide Ministries, Silent Unity, Unity Southwest Region, and the Southwest Region Youth. And then locally, we tithe to Transition House. We tithe the water for the Showers of Blessings. And then we also tithe to Jennifer Somerville for training our new youth director. So just remember that when you're tithing, when you're giving to your spiritual home, who are you giving to? Giving to yourself, giving to all of us, so that we can continue to giving back to you and to others. Just want to point out that 10% of the $1,300 that we tithe means that we brought in $13,000 in the month of April. And just also want to remind everyone that it costs about $25,000 a month to run Unity of Santa Barbara. So $13,000, we got a little ways to stretch out, and we invite all of you to try to help us reach our goal of having, being able to celebrate more and more and more abundance at Unity of Santa Barbara. So, however you give, I want you to take that activity into your heart, celebrate that abundance in your heart, and say with me these words of blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I share.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Peace is my source, peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. Peace gives me everything I need. Peace gives me everything I need. Yay. Peace is my source. This next song is written by Elton John. Very famous Lion King song. From the day we arrive on the planet and blinking step into the sun, there is more to see than can ever be seen, more to do than can ever be done. Some of us fall by the wayside, and some of us soar to the stars. Some of us sail through our troubles. Some have to live with the scars. It's a circle of life, and it moves us on through despair and hope, through faith till we find our place on the path unwinding in the circle of life. There's far too much to take in here, more defined than can ever be found. But the sun rolling high on the sapphire sky keeps great and small on the endless round. It's a circle of life, and it moves us all through despair and hope, through faith and love, till we find our place on the path unwinding in the circle of life. On the path unwinding in the circle of life. Ooh, yeah. Bring your mind and go into my mind. In your mind, go into my mind. Circle of life. Ooh, circle of life. Thank you. Thank you, Woody and Randy and Renee. These guys are awesome.
Okay, I keep pushing for a concert. It's going to be happening. I mean, it's in my mind, right? So watch out. My mind is pretty strong. Yay! All right. So a few announcements here. Good things going on. First, is anybody here for the first time? Oh, you got people crying out there. This is great. I always say that, heart opens and the eyes leak. It's perfect. All right. So is anybody here for the first time? We just oh, beautiful. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Yes. And you already got it. Looks like a bouquet of flowers. So good for you. Yeah. So there's a welcome packet. And then if you'll come right on out to our table right there, we'd love to say hi. And we've got a gift for you. Yes. All right. Did you all see our new e-blast? Did people get the e-blast? Was it? I mean, you got to look at the e-blast. It's our new marketing group. It is outstanding. It just makes us look like the group we are, top notch. So thank you all for contributing to marketing. We have one of our congregants that donated $25,000 to that occurring. So it is extraordinary. We're going to have a new. Wow is right. That's a lot of love. But I can tell you, she's a blessed soul. So let's see. What was I going to say? Oh, yes, we're going to be getting our new website soon. So just watch out. It's the same group that works with CSL. Yeah, you know that. All right. So our metaphysics class, if you want to work with this creation process, come on in on Sunday Sunday. I'll do it at some point. Wednesday at 7 on Zoom. Talk to Sherry. It's $20 a class, but if you can't do 20, come in, because then we're going to talk about your prosperity, yeah? You'll be able to get excited. The Big Sky Retreat, if you want to go to Montana over Labor Day, David Alt is the keynote speaker, and we're going to use his book in June, and he's going to be the keynote speaker for us on Father's Day. An extraordinary soul, and so come with us. It's going to be so much fun. Next Sunday, we have Greg Tamblin, who is a certified laughologist. He's a very, very funny guy, and he sings, and it's going to be called The Silly and the Sacred. So he'll be with us next week. These beautiful flowers are created by Catherine Davis. Aren't they just extraordinary? I got to tell you, it is kind of weird how I match with the flowers. It's consciousness, as they say, but she is so gifted. All right, we have our prayer ministry. Thank you all for holding Sven in prayer, but this really is, we have a life of prayer. And if you need assistance or support, it is because at the instant you get ready to do that, it starts working. You can email prayer@santabarbaraunity.org or call, it's the prayer team, and it will be with the prayer team. All right, so Jessica Welch is our new youth director, and again, many people have brought beautiful things. I invite you to give generously. As I said, I'm going to put in $100, but we are going to manifest $1,000 because we have iPads we want to get. We have all kinds of supplies. They want to go on a retreat. We want to market to families in the area. So, Jess Welch to tell you a little bit about the bake sale. Anyway. Oh, you got to pick up the microphone. Here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jess. We have a great bake sale. A lot of you brought some really good-looking stuff. We have bundt cakes, cookies, chocolates, cheesecake, pies. So much goodies out there. There is a gluten-free table. It'll be the first one when you walk out. And everything should be labeled if there's nuts or something like that in it. And yeah, please just give as much love as you can. We have some really exciting things coming up that we want to do with the kids. I sent out a letter to the congregation, I think last week, and I'll be sending it out again. And if you could, send it to anyone you know with kids that are looking for something to do on Sundays, that would be great. We're trying to get, all the kids in there. Teach them the unity way.
That's right. They're the leaders of the future.
Yeah.
Yes,
they are future leaders.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Jess. Absolutely. Thank you so much. All right. So, her boyfriend is here, who's really fun. Yes, and her parents. So Jess has got her whole group out there. So. Yes, I was going to say anyone that spends. Thank you, Bill. You and Bill got the brains going here. So the point, if you spend $50 at the bake sale, you will be automatically enrolled in our raffle that's going to be the first Sunday in June, where for $10 you can win $100. So you'll be automatically enrolled. So if you want to spend $50, there you go. So. Oh, of course, yes, we are full service. Anyway, all right, so we're going to stand and sing the peace song, and here we go. And again, Sean, thank you for singing with us and being with us.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous goal. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And I just want to say thank you to all of our volunteers this morning, our very, very, very special AV team that does such a great job every week. Our band, how good are you guys, and how abundant are we to have you here, and our special friend, Shantiz. So now let's say our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and please exit to your right.